The United States has repeatedly declared Iran dead. They claim the Iranian Navy has been sunk, the Iranian Air Force destroyed, Iran's missile capabilities down 90%, and the war is almost over.
Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. Iran has been essentially decimated.
But the reality is quite different. Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia was hit by a missile, the KC-135 refueling plane was destroyed, and more shockingly, the E-3 Sentry aircraft spy plane, which was the mainstay of coordinating all air operations, was also burned to the ground on the runway. In Israel, cities continue to be rocked. A month has passed since the war, and Iran's missiles have not been exhausted. Is Iran's missile stockpile really not running low, and are U.S. and Syrian claims wrong? Or is there a special tactic that makes Iran's attacks feel increasingly massive, while the United States, Syria, and Israel are actually running out of ammunition to defend themselves? Frankly, claiming that Iran's missiles have not decreased at all seems naive. It's impossible for a full month of war to not reduce Iran's missile stockpile. Iran has fired hundreds of missiles and thousands of drones since February 28, 2026. In the first 24 hours, Iran fired 167 missiles and 541 drones at the UAE. Meanwhile, on the 15th day, Iran only fired 4 missiles and 6 drones. So, it's certain the numbers will go down. However, this decline doesn't mean Iran is weak. The key to Iran's strategy is its ability to decentralize and mobilize its weapons. Iran long ago stopped relying on fixed missile bases that are easily detected by satellites. Iran has switched to mobile launchers in the form of trucks that can move anywhere and are spread throughout Iran. The goal is to make it difficult for the US and Israel to identify the whereabouts of their missile launchers. Trump boasted that he had leveled all missile warehouses and bases, but the latest U.S. intelligence data provides the opposite fact. They said the U.S. and Israel had only destroyed a third of Iran's missile bases, a conclusion that refutes U.S. claims that Iran's missile capabilities have been destroyed. Moreover, Iran does not always need to use missiles. Just with drones, they can spread threats in the region. Iran no longer fires barrages of missiles at a single point. Iran now more often fires just 1 or 2 missiles, but at a wider and more diverse range of targets. Iran has spread its attacks to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Oman, Israel, and Bahrain. What is its goal? This allowed the US and Israel to concentrate, having to maintain defenses at dozens of locations simultaneously. Iran's tactics exhausted the US's defense system and disrupted its command. Through these two strategies, Iran demonstrated its effective asymmetric warfare defense doctrine against the United States and Israel, which were considered stronger on paper. With this asymmetric strategy, Iran could exploit the enemy's more expensive defense capabilities with its own cheap weapons through precision strikes from vast hidden locations. Iran not only changed the way it deployed its missiles, but also changed their content. According to the New York Times, Iran began using a massive arsenal of warhead missiles at targets in Israel in mid-March 2026. These warhead missiles operate differently from conventional missiles. Instead of carrying one large explosive charge that explodes at one point, this missile carries dozens of smaller bombs inside its body. As the missile approaches its target, the casing opens, rotates, and the smaller bomblets are released into the air and fall to the ground simultaneously. Iranian missile warheads are estimated to carry between 20 and 80 small bombs, depending on the type. The weight of these missiles can reach 1 ton. Several types of Iranian missiles can carry warheads: the Shahab-3, Imad and Gadar-1, Khorramshahr, Sejajil, Khaibar-Shekan, and Haj Qasim. The use of these tandem missiles poses one of the greatest challenges to the US and Israel's defense systems. To neutralize a threat, the missile must be intercepted before its payload is exposed. Once the casing is depleted mid-flight, a single point of threat can become dozens of new, confusing attack points. The US and Israel's interceptor systems are not designed to track dozens of small bombs falling from the air simultaneously. Iran's skill in using its missiles and missilettes is seriously testing the resilience of the US and Israel, which is now on the verge of collapse. The US is facing a dwindling stockpile of defense ammunition. The intensified conflict against Iran is estimated to have depleted about 1/3 of the entire US THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Defense Inventory. One THAAD missile costs around $12.7 million, and production is no more than 100 units per year. This means that replenishing the depleted THAAD inventory will take 3 to 8 years. The war also forced the US to use up its stock of Patriot interceptor missiles. In just 4 days, the US has fired 943 Patriot missiles. Yet, producing those 900 Patriot missiles would have taken at least 18 months. During the 16-day war alone, the total number of ammunition used by the US, Israel, and their regional allies reached 11,294 rounds. After the depletion of THAAD and Patriot missiles, Israel's Arrow 3 missiles became unreliable. Because before this war started, about 81.33% of Israel's stock of Arrow 3 missiles had been depleted. Most likely, Israel's Arrow 3 will be exhausted by the end of March 2026. That is why when Iranian missiles hit Dimona and Arad, Israel did not use the Arrow 3 and was forced to use David Sling, which is less capable than the Arrow 3. But David Sling and Iron Dome have proven inadequate to meet Iran's medium-range missile threat. As a result, Iranian missiles have repeatedly evaded Israeli air defenses and struck their targets. The United States may claim Iran is no longer powerful, but the Iranian attacks on Israel are undeniable. Iran may be firing fewer missiles, but each shot is increasingly precise and increasingly difficult to detect. Its launchers are constantly moving, and Iranian missiles now carry warheads capable of delivering dozens of bombs at a time. Meanwhile, US and Israeli ammunition stocks are dwindling. Can the US and Israel continue to withstand Iran's asymmetric strategy with their dwindling ammunition?